Good afternoon, everyone. All right, if you are here for the Business Central Unboxed webinar to see what's new this spring, then you're in the right place. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my camera because sometimes it slows down Business Central. So good to see everyone, though. All right. So um, all right, so if you have any questions during today's webinar, then you can go ahead and put them in the chat. You'll be muted, but we will follow up afterwards as this is all new feature functionality, and we just want to ensure that we're giving you the most accurate responses. All right, so with that, I'll just get right into it. So you guys are all familiar with Boyer, right? But just as a little bit of a refresher, so we have been dedicated to evaluating, implementing, supporting, and improving Microsoft solutions for over 30 years. So this does include ERP systems like SL, GP, NAV, and of course, Business Central. It does also include CRM solutions, Power Platform, and now even AI applications. So we have been doing this for quite a long time, which is why we are a solution designated partner who won Microsoft Partner of the Year in 2023. And our consulting team does average 10 years of experience. So that's over 1 million hours of consulting experience on these solutions. So you guys are in good hands. And of course, we do have over 550 active clients. All right. And who am I? I'm Margot. I am a Business Central pre-sales engineer and consultant. I deal mainly with supply chain and manufacturing projects, but we will be seeing all sorts of features today. All right, and what are we going to go through today? So first, we're going to start with a review of how Microsoft does their releases, and then we'll go through, I'll share out a slide of all of the new features that they released during this wave. And then from there, I will discuss and demo some of the new features. So these are the general areas that we will be focusing on today. So these are really the ones. These are really the areas that Microsoft focused on with these features. So yay for me, supply chain and manufacturing, but we will also touch on reporting, analytics and manufacturing and administration, and then user experience, automation, and AI. And then at the end, I'm going to provide some Microsoft documentation. So my goal is to show you some new features and provide resources for the features that I'm not able to show today, just so you guys have that in your hands as well. All right, so for those of you who are not familiar, how does Microsoft actually do their releases? So Microsoft typically delivers 2 major releases annually known as release waves. So those introduce new features, enhancements, and improvements requested by Microsoft partners and of course by customers. So the first update is typically known as Release Wave 1, and it's released as the spring release to typically around April. And then the second update is known as Release Wave 2. It typically occurs around October and is known as the fall release. So during this release, Microsoft really focused on these 3 categories, as I mentioned previously. And if you remember during the last wave release, Microsoft focused very heavily on the projects module, formerly known as the jobs module. And this release wave, they focused pretty heavily on supply chain and manufacturing. So I'm excited to show you guys that. All right. And here are all of the new features that Microsoft released this wave. So there's definitely going to be some features that we don't have time to touch on, but if you want to be able to access these, Microsoft does have videos of these new features available on their official YouTube channel, which is available in this link above. And I think Katie's actually going to send that in the chat for you all. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into reporting, analytics, and administration. So these are a bit harder to demo, so I'm just going to walk through them with you guys. So the first exciting new feature is app compatibility warnings in the admin center. So previously, when you would get an email when maintenance was required on an app, And if you miss that update, then your update could fail and you would have to kind of react to the failed update after the fact. But now there will be warning messages in the admin center, which will make it harder to forget. So this is definitely intended to make it easier to plan for exchanges and extension management and extension maintenance ahead of time. All right. The second new exciting feature that we're going to go that I'm going to discuss is updating sandboxes to preview versions. So previously, you had to create a new demo Cronus sandbox, and you couldn't test with your own data or your own apps or your own customizations. So now you'll be able to update one sandbox environment to a preview version before the latest release. So that will allow you to assess and prepare a few months before you update with your own data. And then what's new and exciting in financial reports? There's a lot here. So update one, you can hide empty rows in financial reports. So a lot of our clients think if you're using an income statement or a balance sheet through the traditional Business Central financial reports. So you'll be able to hide empty rows. You'll be able to document report usage. You'll be able to write introductory and closing paragraphs. And Microsoft is also introducing some new column types. So those will be available. An example of one is month to date. And then one that I'm pretty excited about as well is now you will be able to save and run financial reports in Excel templates. So previously that was just in the base standard, which was RDLC format. And now you'll be able to create and export templates that you don't kind of have to like add each time. So, and then lastly, there is now a Power BI manufacturing app. So I'm going to pop into that up here in this tab. And I have some demo data here, right? So this is the new Power BI manufacturing app. So they have some pretty snazzy fields available here. So you have your current utilization. This is your historical utilization. You have Work Center load, and of course there's some missing demo data here, right? So you have your load percentage, allocated time, capacity available by Work Center group. You have your allocated hours, expected capacity need, finished production order breakdown. So there's some variance information here, a specific consumption variance report, a specific capacity variance report, average production times, and a list of released production orders. So this could be kind of like a working list for any orders that are out there. And then production scrap. So very excited that I could show you guys all of that. All right. Continuing on, I'm actually going to pop over into Business Central now, and we're going to start with user experience, automation, and AI. And then, and this is what I'll be showing. And then after that, I will hop over into some supply chain and manufacturing features as well. So, all right. So here I am in Business Central, and we're going to start with AI automation and user experience. And first, we're going to start with the sales order agent. So I'm very excited to show you guys this. So here it is right up here. And before I drill into that, so what is the sales order agent? It is a Copilot agent that aids in the creation of sales documents using AI. So it can connect with your Outlook email to read customer requests, check inventory availability, create quotes, and send responses back to customers. And it does take into account previously flagged inventory preferences, and of course, inventory availability, right? So I'm going to pop open task 13, and I'm just going to click on this email that I received. So I sent an email to myself, right, requesting a quote for one Berlin guest chair in yellow. And so over here, Copilot's going to take me through a series of steps to make sure that that I'm going through the right process, right? And so I had already confirmed this. So I'm going to go to the next step. So the sales order agent has created this quote for me. It's smart enough to see, all right, yep, I can go ahead and create this quote. That was the contact name. I know that this contact works for this specific customer. And then my next step, it's not going to look very different, but it added that item to my sales quote, right? And it can respect specific pricing rules that you have already set up with that customer. All right. And then my next step is that the sales order agent actually has generated an outgoing email that I can send out to this contact. So here we have it. So, yep, dear contact, right? Here is the sales quote information you requested. Here is the price. And it has also attached down here a PDF file of that sales quote. So I can pop that open, I can review it, make sure, yep, that looks good to me. And I'll just exit out of there. And then the last step would be just to go ahead and confirm this, and it would send it right off to my customer. So that's the sales order agent. I'm going to close out of there, and I'm also going to hover over this. So you get some exciting new analytics here. So I can see how many emails I have received, how many quotes the sales order agent was able to create for me. Same thing with sales orders created. And then I can also see some analytics regarding the time that I've saved on emails and the time that I've saved on quotes. So again, I'm not living in here every day. This is a demo environment, but you can imagine that this could become really valuable if like once you're actually operating in here, right? So that was the sales order agent. I do want to also call out the item availability screen, and let me just refresh my screen. Wouldn't be a demo if something like that didn't happen, right? But the sales order agent also looks at item availability. So there is this new screen here. If I look for item availability, and this is what the sales order agent is referencing. So I can see here, and I know that I ordered a yellow chair. I forget the item number, but I'm going to go ahead on this description field, and I will just filter for anything containing the word yellow. That's that Business Central shorthand for that, and I spelled it with an E at the end instead of a W. All right, so here there's that Berlin guest chair in yellow, and we can see, yes, the requested quantity available is there. And here is the base quantity that I have. And so you can filter by location and by quantity and by date. So that is another exciting new screen that is available in Business Central now. So that was the sales order agent. I do also want to call out that the payables agent, it will be ready at the end of the year. So in September 2025, that is when the payables agent is expected to be ready. And so that's going to be the opposite of the sales order agent, right? So you can get notifications when invoices come in via email, and then the payables agent will use AI to create purchase invoices from emailed invoices. So it can actually scan email invoices, vendor email invoices with OCR or optical character recognition to bring the invoice into Business Central. And Microsoft has stated that it will be able to support item variants, allocation accounts, and prepaids with deferral codes. So we're very excited for that. That's going to be potentially a replacement for Continua there. So another exciting feature, very similar to the sales order agent and payables agent. This is specific to Boyer customers only, but we do have a Boyer Central agent that can be configured for Boyer clients' specific needs. So I'm going to pop over here into Copilot, and here is what the Boyer Central agent could look like. So you can embed agents we can help you embed agents directly into your Copilot. So whether that be your Copilot online, like what I'm using here, you can also embed it into your team's Copilot or the app version. And so the Boyer Central agent is actually built directly into Business Central, and it pulls that information into Copilot. So it allows you to connect with Business Central and access information no matter where you're working. So this one, I have this set up so that it's gonna provide some sales and purchase information for me, but this can be configured for specific use cases if anyone has any specific need for this. And we do have a more in-depth demo about this too. So Katie might be sending that in the chat as well. But here we can see I asked for recent sales orders. The Boyer Central agent provided a list for me, and very similar here, if you interact with like ChatGPT, you can actually say, okay, that's great, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for. Can you actually remove these fields that I don't necessarily care about? So here, maybe if I'm a nonprofit and my sales orders actually potentially have $0 value, let's say, then I could say, I don't care about the amount and I don't actually charge a VAT. I could just take those right off. So this is something that we see being pretty helpful for new users to Business Central users who don't really need to be in BC all the time, or for users who need to walk away from their laptops or desks, or even just for view-only users. So you only need a team member license to access this, and it does respect Business Central security. So if I didn't have access to purchase orders, the Boyer Central agent would actually throw me a permissions error. So I do want to just call out that that's available, and we do also provide training courses on how to use AI with different Microsoft applications, but just wanted to show you that that's another fun new feature that's available. All right, continuing on, I do also want to touch on Summarize with Copilot. So that's another exciting feature. So I'm popping over into my customer list here, and I'm going to use my trusty Adatum Corporation customer. So here, I'm going to pop open this fact tab. No, fact box. Yep. I'm going to pop open my fact box here. And a summary is generating here for me. So Copilot is creating a summary based on the role that I am signed in as. So I'm signed in as a business manager. So as a business manager, Copilot's thinking and it's saying, okay, this is the summary of the customer information that I think you're going to care about. So it's going to give me, total sales amount for the fiscal year. So that is another exciting new feature that's available. And this is also available on like sales orders and different document pages as well. Another really easy win that Microsoft has introduced to Business Central is this fact box. You can expand it and collapse the width. So that is a huge win, I think, for everyone. We can all get behind that one. So I think after enough people requested that, they said, "Yep, we're actually gonna implement that." So another really easy win is actually changing the amount of screen real estate that this fact box is taking up. All right. So continuing on, I do also want to show you autofill fields with Copilot. So we're on an existing customer card, so all of these fields are filled out, but I'm going to go ahead and create a new customer just to show everyone how that could work. And I actually don't even want to use a customer template here, so I'm just going to open up a blank customer card. All right, I'll just tab off and we can create a test customer. Right? And so here's what it looks like. This is what the autofill sort of button looks like. It has these little sparkles by it. And somewhere where I think this could be helpful for maybe for me, for my company, is in the invoicing fast tab. So maybe all of my tax area codes, if I'm using Avalara, they're all Avatax. Or maybe I'm not using Avalara and I have defaulted, tax area codes. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. And Copilot's going to think, and everything in this invoicing fast tab, it's going to see if it can actually go ahead and autofill some of those fields for me. And I will say this does work also on document pages too. It's not just like master data pages as well. So surely enough, Copilot was able to say, all right, yep, your bill to your invoice customer is the same as your customer number. It looks like, yep, you really only use this Atlanta, Georgia tax area code. And then it was also able to fill in some posting groups for me. It looks like I use the Canadian dollar pretty frequently in this company, and it filled in a customer discount group for me. So just wanted to show you all that is available as well. So I'm gonna select to keep all of those, but realistically, I'm probably gonna go ahead and just delete this customer because I'll never use it again, right? Right. So that was autofill fields with Copilot as well. All right. And then next, I'm going to actually also get into supply chain and manufacturing. So a lot of exciting new features there as well. So to do that, I'm also going to pop open into, we're in a sandbox that doesn't have any production orders. So I'm going to open up in a new tab that same Cronus company, just in a production environment where I know I have some data sitting out there. All right. So here we are in Cronus to show you guys some of the new and exciting supply chain and manufacturing features. I'm going to drill into my released production order list. So already you guys can see that this list page is much wider. So that's on all the list pages. It's you can actually like change the column widths without having to personalize, and they'll stick. So that's another sort of just easy win there for everyone. So that will stick for me now. All right, so I'm going to drill into my laptop production order, my most recent one, and let's go through some fun and exciting functionality here. So I'm going to pop open this fact box again, and here you'll note that now you can attach notes and documents to production orders. So you can do this on bills of material and routings as well now. So just wanted to call that out. So I will, and you can, here's that new summarize field here on this release production order as well. I'm also going to drill into my production journal here and show you guys some exciting stuff here. Looks like this production order I set to backflush everything. So we'll go to all my methods. And here now, we do also have edit in Excel directly on the production journal. So I do want to call out that you have this available on the output journal, the consumption journal, of course, the production journal, and then most excitingly, even if you don't use manufacturing, it's also available on the item journal as well now. So you'll be able to skip copying and pasting those fields or using configuration packages to import entries into Business Central. So that's also something that could save users a lot of time. All right. For production orders specifically as well, there's a new option to prevent production orders from being finished without posting output. So previously I had a client where we actually had to use some development work to be able to do that. So now you can toggle on a setting and it will prohibit you from finishing a production order that hasn't had output posted against it. Another exciting feature is that you can reverse consumptions on production orders without having to go through a manual entry now. So previously we had to post manual entries to reverse posted consumption. And from here, I can show you that. So I'm going to go ahead in the global search and I'm just going to look for item ledger entries. And instead of going into this archive page, I'm just going to go into the item ledger entries that are associated with this specific document, right? So very exciting here. If I just select more, I'm just going to do this for consumption, right? But now actions, functions, I have this new button where I can actually reverse these production order transactions without having to go through and post a separate entry. So that is another manufacturing capability. Very similar. You also have the ability now to cancel production orders that have consumption posted against them. So previously you had to actually finish that order and now no longer. All right. Another another new feature is that you have the ability to have greater accuracy in manufacturing costing. So the first thing there is you can now derive costs from the stock keeping unit card. So that is applicable specifically to anyone who uses specific variants or different locations, and you have different costs for on stock keeping units. And then secondly, we can now include non-inventory items into production costs. So if I go or I'll just go into my components list here on this order, and now on my bill of material components, I can also include non-inventory items. So that was something that you could not do before. All right. More manufacturing capability, you can now overpick for production orders as well. So you couldn't before, which was a small pain for a lot of our clients. And now, if you need to pick a little more inventory for consumption than the standard bill of material, you'll be able to do that. And then lastly, we can now reopen finished production orders. So I do want to show you that. I'm going to use my global search up here, and I'm just going to look for finished production orders. All right, so here's my list, and let's take this laptop item. And now under actions, I can actually go ahead and reopen this finished production order. So I'm going to click yes here. And yep, it reopened, and it will actually take me to the opened production order here then. So that is the last sort of manufacturing new feature that I wanted to show you. There are a lot of other ones out there. So I'm going to head back to the PowerPoint. I do want to head back as well, all the way to this new feature slide. So there was a lot that I wasn't able to cover today just for purposes of time. But if you use Shopify or e-commerce, I would definitely take a look at e-commerce. If you are interested in sustainability reporting, there's some new features there as well. So I just wanted to point that out as well. And then some new reporting and data analysis there too. So I wanted to call that out. And then I want to provide some documentation for you all as well. So here is that Microsoft documentation. So if there are any features that you were excited to learn about, excited to see that I wasn't able to show today, then you can also navigate to this link that Katie will share in the chat. And here it's actually Microsoft has broken out all of sort of the additional documentation by category here. So you can read about it, you can learn on how to start using it or testing it yourself. And it also includes all of the dates by which it should be available. And I think they're all available now to start playing with. All right. And if there is anything that anyone on this call was excited or hopeful would have come out in this new release wave that didn't, don't fret. A lot of the ideas that we discussed today, they actually came from this ideas forum. So Microsoft does look for what customers and partners suggest to be added or improved to Business Central. So here, if you navigate to this link that, again, Katie will be sharing in the chat, you can log in with your Microsoft credentials, and then you can search if an idea that you are really excited about exists already. If it does exist, then you can upvote the existing comment, and you can share that comment with your colleagues or with us, your Microsoft partner, and we can upvote it for you too. And then if it doesn't exist yet, you can submit a new comment, and then you can go ahead and share that with your colleagues and also with us as well. So I'm going to go ahead and with that was everything that I had to share today. Thank you, and have a very good rest of your afternoon, everyone.